Shapes, shapes, I will learn my shapes. Shapes, shapes, I will learn my shapes. Shapes, shapes, I will learn my shapes because I need to know my shapes. Hi there, boys and girls. Can you guess what we'll be learning about today? Most definitely, we'll be learning about those shapes. Put on those thinking caps and let's go. Like we've learned in previous lessons, we have the circle that goes around and around and around. We have the square that has four corners and four equal sides. And then we have the triangle that has one, two, three corners and three equal sides. And then we have the rectangle that has four corners and four sides. These shapes, as we know it, are called the plane or flat shapes. But I know you know all of those stuffs. And so today we are going to be learning about some new shapes. Yes, today we will be learning about solid shapes. And solid shapes are shapes that take up space. They are no longer flat anymore. And if you look at these shapes, you can see some of those plane and flat shapes that we learned about all along. But with these shapes, you are able to pick them up. You are able to feel them. They may look similar to flat shapes. In fact, you can see flat shapes in these shapes, but these shapes are a bit different. The first solid shape we'll be looking at today is called the rectangular prism. Repeat after me. Rectangular prism. And this solid shape looks very similar to a plane shape. Can you guess that shape? The name even sounds like it. Good job. This shape looks just like the rectangle, but it's not flat. You can actually pick up this rectangular prism. And there are different things around that reminds you of the rectangular prism. But here's a good example of one. A tissue box. It looks exactly like the rectangular prism shape. Our next solid shape that we are going to learn about today is called the sphere. Repeat after me. Say the sphere. 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 Good. And this shape looks very similar to another shape that we have already learned before. You are absolutely correct. It looks like circle. But like I said, a circle is flat. A sphere is a shape that you can actually pick up. It has space. And an object that you like to play with looks exactly like a sphere. Can you guess that object? Excellent job. The sphere looks just like a ball. Now, this shape, I am quite sure many of you have seen this before. Once you think a little bit hard, you'll recognize this shape. But this shape is called the cone. Now, any bell rang in your head just now when you saw the cone? Did you see, ta-da, an ice cream cone? That's correct. If you turn that cone upside down, you will definitely get an ice cream cone so that you can scoop your ice cream and put it on top. This next solid shape that we'll be looking at is called a cylinder. And this shape, this has a circle. I'm definitely seeing a circle. This shape is very similar to something that you drink out of. Can you think of something that you drink out of that this solid shape looks like? If you thought about a cup, then you were definitely correct. I know you are getting a bit tired, but we are almost to the end. This shape may also be a familiar shape that you may have seen on TV before. This shape is called the pyramid, and the pyramid is also a solid shape. I see two triangles. That's a triangle. That's another triangle. And if you are able to look in the back of the shape, that then you'll see more triangles. But this shape is very similar to, do you know what that is? That is a tent. We use that when we go outside and we want to go camping, and we use that as somewhere to sleep. And so the pyramid is very similar to a tent shape. And here, finally, we have our last shape. And like I said, these solid shapes are very similar to plane shapes. Can you tell me which plane shape you see in this solid shape? Most definitely, we see squares. And there are all sorts of squares in this shape. This shape is called the cube. It really looks like an ice cube, right? Most definitely. That is one of the objects that is shaped like a cube. Here's another object that looks just like a cube. And I know you love presents. Remember, boys and girls, that solid shapes are shapes that take up space. They are no longer flat, and that means you can actually hold them. I know this was a lot of information today, but we'll definitely get some more practice with it soon. The good thing is you only need to know how to identify these solid shapes. See you later, boys and girls. I hope you had as much fun as I did.